Alright, so this is going to be my take on the Spider-Man news today. Hi, this is Dreameroutthere. There's a new channel, nobody follows me, it's small. The only way that anyone's going to see this video is if, a hashtag brings somebody here or something. But I'm sitting here looking at this new Spider-Man deal on Heatvision. Spider-Man shocker, Disney, Sony striking a deal for one more movie. And I wanted to review this news, comment on this, because I'm very much, I'm not a YouTube influencer. Nobody knows who I am. I'm very much your everyday casual fan. I grew up with Spider-Man and X-Men as cartoons. I never read the comics, but I've seen the cartoons when I was a kid. I've seen all the movies, I guess. I'm a casual fan at best of Spider-Man, but I know some things. But I have been enjoying him in the MCU. I liked when they introduced him in Civil War. I liked when they introduced his movie and how they tied it into Endgame and Infinity War and all of that. And I enjoyed the newest one. And sure, okay, everybody is talking about the MCU right now. Some people are calling it the MCU, talking about SJW stuff and agenda and all of that. Forget all that for a second. Marvel, for what it is, trying to get all these superheroes on the big screen, trying to just translate all this into live action, into a big ongoing thing. See, that's what I always liked about TV, because you get multiple installments of episodes, you get to enjoy these characters long term. That's what I never liked about movies, was that you only get a movie for like 2 hours and the character is gone. Well, the MCU solved that problem, made it so that you get these characters continuously, and that's what I like, is the tie-in, the ongoing thing. It's like you're watching an HBO show, except it's huge and it's in theaters. And, it's about superheroes and it's Marvel, and I'll take it. So, I've been enjoying mostly what they did. Say what you will about Captain Marvel, all the things that happened in Captain Marvel, blah blah, whatever. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I feel like Infinity War ended with Nick Fury, the very last thing he ever did was send off that SOS. And then Captain Marvel should have introduced us to Captain Marvel like it did. Then she should have been some kind of a linchpin in Endgame so that SOS meant something. And I mean, it means something beyond her just being there to rescue Tony from deep space. But those are my own personal views. So I've enjoyed it as far as it's gone. And I've enjoyed Spider-Man. We all want the 30-year-old Spider-Man who's married to Mary Jane, and, they take dirty pictures together, and they're like a couple, and they're grown up, and she's worried about her husband. That's the Spider-Man that everybody wants to see. But right now, we've got high school Spider-Man. And for what they've done with it, the reimagining with Zendaya and all the rest, I'm pretty much okay with it, and I've been enjoying it. So when I found out that they're pulling Spider-Man out, and Sony's going their own way, and they're making a Spider-Verse with their Venom, and Spider-Man Tom Holland is suddenly going to be there. It's like, whoa, 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 wait, what, whoa. And it's just like, how do you rectify this, How do you, what are the correct words I'm looking for here? How do you rectify the MCU storyline of Spider-Man just suddenly vanishing? How do you just suddenly pull him out of there? Well, you can't. There's just no good way to do that. So when I heard this news that Spider-Man was leaving the MCU, it's just like a giant hole in storytelling. It's just like you drop your head and do a Picard facepalm, because it's just like, what? How? Why? No. But, that's what was going on. They're taking him out of there. And now ever since that news dropped, we've been getting used to that idea that Spider-Man wouldn't be in the MCU, and it's just coming to grips. And, there's been Midnight's Ed's videos about how Sony was really the villain. And then there's been spin that Marvel was really the villain, that they were too greedy, that there are so many different sides to it. Whatever it was, Sony had Spider-Man, and that was it. And then today, suddenly, hey guys, hi, Spider-Man's back in the MCU. Guess what? It's just like, what? So here I am reading this. It says the two studios are once again working together, with Tom Holland's hero set to star in 2 more films. Spider-Man is back in action after publicly parting ways over a deal gone south. Marvel and Disney Sony are back at the table and have struck a deal that would see Marvel produce another Spider-Man film for Sony. The new film even has a release date, July 16, 2021. I'm thrilled the Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and I and all of us at Marvel Studios are very excited that we get to keep working on it, said Marvel topper Kevin Feige. Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences around the globe. He also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes, so as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. Okay, that to me says that part of this new deal that they've struck, they're going to be able to tie in the Sony stuff to the MCU stuff, because that's what Sony's wanted this whole time. So I bet you that's code right there for don't be surprised if, Tom Hardy Venom shows up and there's more to this. There's subtext in here. Also, as part of the agreement, Spider-Man will appear in future Marvel movies. AKA, he's going to be the new Iron Man, supporting character, background character, secondary character, guy who we love to see crossover in all the movies. That's who he's going to be. 2015, Marvel and Sony unveiled a unprecedented inter-studio partnership that produced not only two well-regarded and massive hits with Spider-Man Homecoming and this summer's Spider-Man Far From Home, but also took the characters whose movie rights are owned by Sony and put him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe where the hero became one of its key players. But the co-parenting deal fell apart not too long after the release of Far From Home, spilling into the open in August. Terms of the new deal were not revealed, but it will allow Marvel and its chief Feige to produce and run Creative Point on one more movie that would star Tom Holland, the actor who is in the current incarnation of the web-slinging superhero. Depending on how things go, more movies could be in the offering. There will be. Just watch. The partnership between Sony and Marvel has been faithful at the box office. Homecoming made $880.1 million. Featured Marvel character Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., while Spider-Man was a key part of 2018's Avenger Infinity War and had a small but powerful role in this year's Endgame. Both films grossed more than $2 billion, with Endgame standing as the top film of all time, not adjusted for inflation. Far From Home was also a billion-dollar player, grossing $1.1 billion, and is Sony's highest-grossing film ever. Yeah, this doesn't say anything much more than that, but what I'm reading here is that what I've also read is that now Marvel is going to have a 25% stake in this, and that I don't know. Sony's going to be floating more of the money, while Marvel's going to be paying less of the money, while Marvel will get more of a profit than anything. It's these whole complicated Hollywood deals. I don't know yet. The news is still fresh. Anyway, I'm glad that he's back. I'm surprised as hell. It's awesome. But I bet you there's going to be some stuff going on. Marvel has more control, but I bet you they gave some concessions to Sony, so maybe some Sony Venom will show up, or Sony Elements, or maybe they'll start tying the Sonyverse into the MCU. I don't know. A cross-studio MCU thing, that would be weird, but who knows. Anyway, I'm all for it. It's just, from a standoff fan point of view, I just wish they'd stop fucking around with us like this and stop screwing around and just be straight up with this. They know fans want Spider-Man in the MCU. They know that they're not going to put up with more amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 like Sony made before MCU Spider-Man. So why even do all this? After all of that, they announced it today that everything's been fixed. That tells me that Feige lost Spider-Man. It got very public. They put it all on Feige. He didn't like being put in the spotlight and being made the center of attention of why they lost it. And this is also his favorite superhero. And I bet you they stayed at the negotiating table until they hammered out the deal. And Marvel got the 25% that they wanted from the get-go, which Sony passed on. And I bet you it's only because Marvel made some as yet unknown concession to Sony. That's the only way that this works. So now we'll see what happens, I guess. But this is pretty shocking, and I hope this doesn't backfire or go wrong or turn into something really shitty. And, fingers crossed. That's all I can really say. Anyway, that's it for me today. I have nothing else to really say on the subject. I'm going to be uploading some videos. I'm going to be reviewing some stuff. There's going to be some content coming to this channel. If anything I said, or even my face, is interesting to you, you know, subscribe and smash that bell.